The world's strongest swordsman, Hawkeye's Mihawk, debuted on the global side of One Piece Treasure Cruise during the first anniversary on the 9th of February 2016. Unlike the Japanese counterpart Sugo-Fest, Mihawk debuted alongside Sugo-Fest exclusive Crocodile on the 1st of September 2015. Crocodile would debut a couple months later on Global to introduce the Cerebral class, which we'll discuss in a few episodes' time. Oddly enough, Mihawk himself, who debuted alongside the introduction of the Cerebral class on Japan, never had an additional secondary class implemented, which limited his potential with team building moving forward. Hawkeye's Mihawk was yet another Sugo-Fest exclusive character that focused on boosting a class rather than a typing, with a captain effect that was built around continuously hitting your perfects to secure high constant damage, and boasting a unique special ability like none other we had seen before that could see boss fights chopped down to size with one special activation. Introducing the world's strongest swordsman, Hawkeye's Mihawk. In this series, we'll be traveling back in time to experience some of the older Sugo-Fest exclusive characters in their prime, aiming to show just what it was like to use these characters on their debut. I hope you enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's enter the Legends of OPTC. And we've made it back to another episode of the Legends of OPTC series. Thank you very much for the continued support on this series. I really enjoy making it, and I really hope you guys are enjoying watching it. So today, we're looking at the second half of the first anniversary Sugo-Fest, which was going to be this guy right here, Dracul Mihawk. Last week's video, we looked at Stronghold Ace, and that was definitely more of an interesting video because, you know, Stronghold Ace is so notorious. But then you got Mihawk, who was just kind of okay. Even on release, he was fine, but the thing about it is that Clash Mihawk was such a strong unit on release that this character didn't really see that much play, at least not when he first released. In terms of captain effect, he is definitely better than Clash Mihawk, but the special ability of this particular Mihawk didn't see much play until powerful specials that boosted attack, boosted orbs that were more prevalent in the meta, were going to be seeing this guy seeing more play, because obviously if you do more damage, his special does more damage. And unfortunately, his special ability wasn't super useful on release. But looking at this character, he's an int slasher, and as said, you know, he doesn't have an additional secondary class, which it would have been nice if he did release with another class. It would have been nice if he gained the Cerebral class. He could have worked really well with Crocodile when he released, building a hugely powerful team with him. Unfortunately, never happened. Interestingly enough, he had 5 combo hits as well, and then his captain ability is really good, right? Well, at least at the time, because it boosted the attack of slashers by a variable factor between 2 times and 2.75 times based on the timing of the previous attack in the chain. So if you hit a good or a miss, the attack of the next unit was going to be a 2 times boost. A good gives you 2.25, a great hits you 2.5, and if you hit a perfect, the next character in the attack chain got a 2.75 times boost. And it's only applied to slasher units, of course, but the really good thing about it is like the first unit that you attack with actually doesn't really get a big boost. The first attacker in the chain, I believe, does receive a 2 times attack boost. So the way that you would want to do it is if you need to run a character that's not a slasher, that has a utility special that enables you to get through content a bit easier, kind of like Golden Pound Usopp, right, for example, you could just use him, attack with him first, hit it perfect, and then the next slasher units from there on out can get up to a 2.75 times boost. So that's kind of nice that they did that. But still, having to hit your perfects continuously to reach that 2.75 times captain boost was a little bit annoying. I mean, Clash Mihawk was a flat 2.5 times boost. So the difference between the 2.5 and the 2.75 was not major, but of course, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, it is a big boost. But, you know, in these types of days where they didn't have massive multipliers for their special abilities, the difference between the 2.75 and the 2.5 was relatively minimal, in my opinion. So the captain effect, while it was fine, wasn't the most broken thing in the game. And then the special ability, which is like the super interesting part of this unit, where it does 50% of the damage dealt in the previous turn to typeless damage to all enemies. Now remember, normal attacks only was not a thing for a very long time, and barriers was not a thing really either for a very, very long time. So the fact you could have this Mihawk character that is able to do so much damage with this special ability is pretty crazy. But obviously the problem there is that in order to do the most out of this is you would normally have to burst on the stage before a boss, or hope that the boss has a revival mechanic in order to use his special ability after the revive to instantly get the win. Unfortunately, the special ability, as I said on release, wasn't super useful, but as time progressed, where damage was ramped up much higher, it obviously made his special ability way more worth it to run in content. And also having a 19 turn cooldown doesn't really help anybody either, whereas Clash Mihawk was a flat 30% health cut to all enemies, which was definitely more useful in content, just sizing down enemies with one special. Double Mihawk with the 30% health cut is basically halving the enemy's health as soon as you enter the boss stage, and then you could go from there. And plus, Clash Mihawk, I believe, went to a 17 turn cooldown. This was 2 more turns higher, and you know, depending on your team, you wouldn't even reach the damage potential of what Clash Mihawk was able to reach. So that was the little bit of a problem with this Mihawk on release, but still, as I said, as time progressed, he definitely got a little bit better. Okay, so looking at the type of content that we're going to be taking on today. Now, these are just some of the raids that we have not taken on in the Legends of OPTC series yet. Some of these I am actually kind of worried about, and I'm not really too sure how we're going to clear it, but we'll try our damn hardest in order to do it. So we've got Clash Dofi and Clash Hancock. Those are definitely the 2 most scary ones. I think Clash Hancock, I think Mihawk should be able to deal with Clash Hancock relatively easily. I believe Hancock has a revival mechanic, so we should be able to get through that with Mihawk. But then also Clash Doflamingo, that could be tough, but we'll see how things go. We've also got Clash Heracles. Clash Heracles should be relatively easy to take on. Blackbeard I don't really see to be a problem either. But let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see what we get today. Let's go ahead and spin it, and what's it going to land on? What's it gonna land on? Really? Clash Heracles? Ah, that's a bit of an easy one, but alright, let's go ahead and take on Clash Heracles, I guess. Probably not the one that I wanted to take on, but, you know, Clash Heracles is the winner, so let's go ahead and see what we can find. We're now in-game, and here we have Dracul Mihawk, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, lauded as the greatest swordsman in the world. The black sword he wields, Knight, is one of the 12 supreme grade swords. The flying shockwaves he can unleash with it can even cut galleons and faraway icebergs in two. So this is Dracul Mihawk with max socket or powers, with plus 100 attack and 100 HP, the most optimal you could get Mihawk upon his release. Max skill as well, and we're going to be taking him in against Clash Heracles. I wish it wasn't Clash Heracles, I wish it was a bit of a more difficult raid, but hey, we've got stronger characters moving forward, so look out for that. So let's go ahead and introduce the team that we have against Heracles. Now this team is pretty bare bones and pretty basic, but we do have a beat stick in this raid. No, it's not even raid crocodile, this is story mode crocodile right here. An int slasher that back in the day, if you wanted really good int damage, you would typically use this character. He had pretty good stats. You could use also Rare Recruit Vista, but this crocodile had much better stats, I believe, upon release. We've also got Ray Doflamingo because he's like the best slasher like subunit you can use. We've also got this Koza. Now Koza is a character you see a lot in Rare Recruit. You don't want to see this guy. He's one of those fake gold units. But he has a special ability that will boost the attack of our slashers by 1.5 for 1 turn. This was one of the better slasher attack boosters for a long time, up until we got the release of the 3-day 2-year characters. 3-day 2-year Zora was a really good unit that would boost the attack of slashers by 1.75. I think it was actually for 2 turns as well, but that wasn't released up until, I think, you know, maybe September or August, around that time. Like, it's a long time before we actually get that batch of characters, and it's a really nice buff to the slashers in general. And then we've also got Golden Pound Usopp, which is going to be our delayer to ensure that we get our special cooldowns ready to go. We are also using the Coffin Boat, which was the best slasher ship at the time, boosting the attack of and HP of our slashers by 1.5 times, at the cost of reducing our captain's recovery by 700. So, obviously, not a good thing. Recovery slots are going to be not really healing us by a lot here, but the ship is great because it gives us a substantial HP boost, which is very, very good, because the captain ability of Mihawk doesn't have an HP boost. But with this, we've actually got a couple of sockets this time. We've got some cooldown, we've got some auto healing, we've got some matching slots as well. Things are looking pretty good. And big shout out to one of the Discord server members and one of the good buddies of the channel, being TheLordShiro, for helping us find a much better Mihawk, and we will definitely need to find better friend captains this time around. So shout out to the patron of this video, being TheLordShiro with the plus 200 cotton candies, also with the max sockets, and I believe it's max special as well. It is indeed max special, so massive shout out to him. So here we go, let's go ahead and jump into the team versus Heracles. Ideally, what my mindset is, because this is a relatively easier piece of content, I do want to get our specials ready to go, and I want to kill the final boss stage with the Mihawk special abilities, so that's the target here. Hopefully we're able to do it. Let's jump into the video. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. And we've made it to the clash, Master Teacher Heracles. So, let's see what we have here. We do get a preemptive attack at the start of the quest, which does give us a free extra bit of cooldown. But, like, we literally have to stall, like, we have to stall so much. We have to stall 16 goddamn turns. Are you kidding me, dude? Alright, let's go ahead, hit it perfect. Mihawk with his 2.75 times captain effect. I want to kill this guy. And how much damage does the penguin and pig do? Okay, like, not too much. Do they do anything? No. Okay, that's good. We do have a recovery slot there, which we will go ahead and consume. Let's just go ahead and kill this penguin. As I said, you know, getting this stall off is going to be really important, and the good thing about it is we kind of do get, like, free stall because we do have the Golden Pound Usopp. So we do take a bit of damage here from the pig, but it honestly doesn't matter too much if we're getting everything ready to go for when we need it. The 2-turn cooldown's kind of nice, and as we've already established, you know, having these sockets are really, really good at this point because the free auto healing is so nice. The -2 cooldown at the start of the quest due to those sockets also very good. And because this is an easier raid, we don't really need the utility of sockets too much at the moment, but it is nice to try and, you know, just manipulate our way through this content to ensure that we get those cooldowns ready to go. One thing to note as well is that we are going to try and burst on, like, the second last stage before we move into the final stage. So getting matching slots is also going to be important, and that's also one of the reasons why Clash Mihawk is so good, because Clash Mihawk has that really cool special to change some slots around for your crew. So if we're able to manipulate them before we do our burst turn, that's obviously going to be huge. Now at this point, I think I'm going to stall one more hit, and then I'm going to move on past that. Alright, there we go. So we've done plenty of stall here, so I'm not really too worried. And we're going to have the Golden Pound Usopp special for that stage 4, which is going to be good because I want to try and manipulate as many slots as we can. So at this point here, like, we pretty much don't need a stall at all. We're just going to go ahead and do as much damage as we can. Get the matching type there with Koza. Lots of damage coming in from Mihawk here. Just killing everything in one turn right now because we do not need to stall. Stage 3, we've got some lobsters and some turtles. This is also another fantastic stage to stall on, but of course, at this point, we're just going to be killing. We have our specials ready to go. Thank you to that pig at the start of the quest, making things a lot easier for us. But these lobsters have very, very high defense and sometimes can be quite tricky to take down. I guess getting the slot on Mihawk is probably the most important, so let's just go ahead and, like, skip a couple. Let's move on now. So we've got stage 4 here, which is with a crab and a bunch of seahorses. Now, they do go ahead and give us recovery slots, which is obviously not good, but we're going to go ahead and use the Golden Pound Usopp special. Now, I believe this does delay them, and I don't think they activate anything here. So I believe we're able to just, like, get rid of all this stuff here. We don't want to deal with these recovery slots. So at this point here, let's have a look. We do have the special of Dofi to generate some slots for us here. It's not super ideal yet. Let's get rid of these slots. Let's see from here. Let's see. Did we get some good slots? Ooh, it's getting close. It's getting close. I would like to... We do have one int slot with Golden Pound that we can give to the crocodile, which I guess is actually pretty good. Because we want to make sure those int slots... we could probably give it to Mihawk. We want to give the int slot to Mihawk. That's probably going to be the best case scenario here. Because we want to do as much damage as we can. So what I'm thinking of is we'll probably skip a turn just with Mihawk. Let's see. Okay, we didn't get the matching slots that we wanted, but we got pretty goddamn close. Let's use the Dofi special. Gonna go ahead and switch our slots around. Give the int slot to the Mihawk, and we'll give the dex slot to the Dofi. That's gonna be best case scenario. Let's use Koza, which is gonna give us a 1.5 times attack boost, which is nothing too crazy, obviously, but you know, it's gonna give us some type of boost, and we want to do as much damage as we can here. Obviously, the Mihawks, we want to hit super effective, do as much damage as we can here, and then hopefully do a crap load of damage towards Heracles. Alright. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Here we go. Let's go. Yes, sir. That was really good. 2.6 million. We just instantly win this last stage here. That was so good. This is exactly what I wanted to do. So remember, with the way that Mihawk works, he does 50% of the damage that we dealt in the previous turn. That previous turn, we did 2.6 million damage, meaning that each of these specials should be around 1.3 million, and because we have 2 of them, that's obviously going to be quite big. Now, of course, we can use the Crocodile special as well. Crocodile is just a damage-dealing special, I believe. I think he gives himself an int slot and shuffles all our other slots around. So yeah, nothing too crazy there. Pretty good matching slots. But let's go ahead and use the Mihawk special. Let's see how much damage we do here. The 3-sword slash. Look at that, man. Look at that. And we can finish it off with the secondary Mihawk special. That's exactly what I wanted to do, dude. So freaking cool. Boom, there we go. Like, the final stage is just dealt with, and that's the power of Mihawk. If you've got those boosts to make sure you're doing enough damage, his special is insanely broken. But under certain circumstances, if you don't have those boosts, obviously not going to be as good. I really wish he had a secondary class so you could kind of shuffle him into lots of different teams. But still, even though it wasn't like an amazing showcase, it wasn't very difficult content, it's still awesome to see just Mihawk clear content with his special ability alone. It's ridiculous. And once again, shout out to TheLordShiro for lending the Mihawk, of course. And with all that being said, guys, that is going to conclude yet another episode of the Legends of OPTC series. I really hope you guys are enjoying this series, and I don't actually remember what the next episode is going to be. Alright, so according to this, the next episode is going to be with Sabo. Sabo making his debut with the Free Spirit class into the game. That's going to be an interesting one, but I'm actually more excited for the one after that, which is with Crocodile. I think Crocodile's going to be an insanely fun episode, but, you know, next episode we got Sabo, so look out for that one, guys. As I said, that is going to conclude yet another episode of the Legends of OPTC. Really hope you guys have enjoyed this one, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.